Good morning, kiddos. All right, let's set you up. There we go. So, who remembers what holiday is coming up? The holiday we celebrate in November is when we eat turkey, pumpkin pie, and stuffing. We celebrate the Pilgrims and the Indians having a big feast together. It's Thanksgiving. So this is called the Littlest Pilgrim. And if you remember, the Pilgrims came from England on the Mayflower, and they set up a little village, and they met the Indians, and the Indians actually helped them. And then they decided to have a big harvest feast together, and now we still celebrate that, and we call it Thanksgiving. So let's read what it was like to be the littlest pilgrim. Minnie. Aw, that's cute. Her name was Minnie. Minnie was a pilgrim. She lived with her family in a small village. See, not that many people came over, so they made just a little small village. There were many pilgrims in her village, but Minnie was the littlest one. See, and you can see what the pilgrims wore. They didn't dress like we dress today, and they didn't dress like the Indians either. Even though she was small, Minnie tried to help with the village chores. What's she doing? Yep, she's picking apples. And the Pilgrim girls wore aprons, and she's using that to carry them. One day, Minnie decided to be extra helpful. What's she playing with? You know what that critter is? It's a snail. Good. It's a snail. I wonder how she's going to be extra helpful. Let's see what she does. Minnie found her big brother stacking wood. He was stacking wood for the winter. She wanted to help. Any idea what they used the wood for? Yeah, they had to burn the wood to make the house heat up. They didn't have heaters like we did today. Look, brother, Minnie said. I'm helping to make a wood pile. But Minnie's brother was too busy to notice her. So she's trying to help, but he's not even paying any attention. Minnie went inside the house and found her big sister. She was mending a dress. Anybody know what that means? Mending a dress? All right, so back in the olden days, if you ripped your dress, you would sew it up. And that's what her sister is doing. She's sewing up a hole in the dress because they didn't have that many clothes. I'm ready to sew, said Minnie. Sorry, Minnie, said her sister. You're too little to help with mending. Go help Mama. I'm busy. She's too little to learn how to sew. So Minnie went outside to help her mother. What do you think her mom's doing? She was at the oven baking bread for dinner. They didn't have ovens in the house because they were afraid that it would catch fire and the house would catch on fire, so they had to cook outside. Look, Mama, said Minnie. I'm helping. But Minnie's mother was so busy making bread, she didn't even hear Minnie. What's she trying to do? It looks like she's trying to wash the dishes. They even had to wash the dishes outside because they didn't have sinks. They didn't have a sink inside, no plumbing. Minnie went to find her father. Surely he would want some help. He was getting ready to hunt food in the forest. All right, there he is. He's setting up a trap because they couldn't go to the grocery store because there were no grocery stores. They had to catch their own food. Looks like Dad's trying to catch maybe a rabbit. I don't know what else he would catch. Sorry, Minnie. You're too little for hunting, Minnie's father said when he saw her. Why don't you go pick some berries for us to eat? All right, she's too little to go hunting. So he's telling her to go pick some berries. That would be a good way to help. If you can eat berries, that would help. As Minnie walked towards the berry bushes, she spotted her neighbor. He was fixing his house. I can help, Minnie started to say. Sorry, Minnie, this is a big job, and you are just too little. You think she could swing a hammer and put nails in? Nah, she's still too little. That's hard. You have to be pretty big to do that. Minnie wandered through the village. She was sad. Minnie just wanted to help, but everyone was too busy to notice, or they thought the jobs were too big and Minnie was too little. It wasn't fair. It's so nice that she wants to help. Minnie walked toward the water. She spotted some boys from her village. They were fishing. Can I help you fish, Minnie asked one of the boys. He laughed. Sorry, Minnie, you're too little for fishing. Poor Minnie. Now Minnie was very sad. Why would no one let her help? Minnie knew there had to be something special she could do. Oh, she's gonna cry, I think. Even if she was little. She could pick the berries. Those look like blueberries, right? I don't think I want to eat them with a snail on them, though. Ugh. Minnie started to walk home and saw some berries along the way. As she picked them, she heard something rustling in the leaves. Minnie moved closer to get a better look. What do you think could be rustling in the leaves? Think it's a bear? I think if it's a bear, she better run. There at the edge of the forest stood a girl. Is she a pilgrim? No, she's an Indian girl. The Indian girls lived in America before the Pilgrims came. And she was little, just like Minnie. They look about the same size. Pilgrim, Indian. Hello, said Minnie. What's your name? Do you think they speak the same language? No, she's from England, and she's lived here in America all her life. She probably speaks some Indian dialect, and she speaks English. The girl stood still and looked at Minnie. She didn't say a word. She doesn't know what she's saying. Minnie remembered the berries she held in her hand. Do you want one? She said. At first, the little girl just stared at Minnie. But soon, she began to smile, a very big smile. See how happy she could be? Minnie was too little for many things, but she was not too little to make a friend. See how differently they're dressed? She's probably wearing some animal skin, and she's wearing clothes that were made in England. She's wearing a bonnet, and she's wearing braids in her hair. She has moccasins on, and she's probably wearing leather shoes, but they can still be friends. And that's what she did. She ended up making a friend. The end. The Littlest Pilgrim. All right, we're going to be learning more about pilgrims and Indians. I have more stories, and we'll be learning a little bit more about them by things we watch on TV and some of the lessons in the classroom. So get ready for Thanksgiving.